From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
Well, hello, Mr. and Mrs. America. I am Keith Allen, and proudly welcoming you to this Monday's edition of For the People. It's Monday, July 24th, 2017. And man, the month of July has just flown on by. And my daughter's going to be going back to school before long, so we have to make sure that we have, all the necessaries. School clothes, always fun. You remember that when you went shopping for school clothes? What a great time that was. I enjoyed it. Some years were better than others, where your parents kind of felt like they had a good deal going on as far as the fashion goes. But new clothes, new shoes, I remember that. And it's still fun to go shopping. But, man, back then where you just got new stuff all together and for a new year, brings back some really good memories. So I'm looking forward to picking out some nice stuff with my daughter and getting her back to school. Many of you are getting your kids ready too, and now's the time. You got, 2 weeks for some of you, or a little bit longer, but don't do the last-minute deal, especially, and this is a parent that really knows, don't do the week of trying to find book bags and binders, especially if you're looking for the right one. Now's the time to do it. Get it online. Get the one you want specifically, because, man, you will be cleaned out real fast. Everybody's looking for their book bag. That's like the biggest thing. We just have always had the biggest challenges, but we've learned, what are we doing wrong? Because we're waiting too long. So in advance. Now, for you planners, I admire you that you plan just about every single thing, and you know this way in advance. But you've learned through the years to be able to do this thing. So anyways, word to the wise, planning is a beautiful thing if you can get it done. Over the weekend, some very disturbing news. And if you didn't hear about this one, this was a big one. Everywhere you've probably opened up to see some news. It had to do with this truck out of Texas that was just packed with illegal immigrants. And Dan Patrick, the lieutenant governor in Texas, is rallying right now against sanctuary cities. And on Sunday, after the authorities in his state discovered 8 people dead in a sweltering tractor trailer in San Antonio in a Walmart parking lot, and about 17 others in critical condition. And at this moment, it is up to 10 people that are reported dead right now that have gone to the hospital. And, yeah, this is, folks, a growing problem, a mounting problem. Human trafficking, obviously, has been going around for over a decade. But what makes it troublesome is what the lieutenant governor is pointing out, and that is that these sanctuary cities in America are really causing this problem. That's basically what he's saying. He's posted this on his Facebook page. He says it's a tragedy, and but he is pushed a bill to ban sanctuary cities. Every governor in the right mind should be about this type of business to make this happen. This is a tragedy, folks. This should not be happening in the United States of America. Human trafficking. They'll pay the biggest price, and ultimately they paid the biggest price, didn't they? With their lives. See, the thing is, when they're guaranteed a job and they're guaranteed that they'll have sanctuary and they'll have the benefits of housing and food and medical and all these other things, and they're just illegals getting the same benefits. What's wrong with this picture as people that have gone through the long, painful process, an expensive process a lot of times, to become legalized national citizens? And these people paid money to do it illegally, and then they've lost their lives. And a lot of people say, well, they got what they got coming to them. I'm not that harsh. I think it's a tragedy. I think it's sad. There's children that were involved here, folks. It's not a pretty picture. And I'm almost certain that the truck driver, who knows how long this guy's been doing this, but the truck's been towed away. And I saw the video the day of the truck, and it just broke my heart. But, these people were feeling like, they paid it, and there you go. We're into the United States free and clear, except the hot heat where there's no air conditioning in the back of the truck. The temperatures out in San Antonio, folks, way over 100 degrees. And it cooked the victims, man. And according to local authorities, it was so hot that you could touch the humans that were in there, people, folks. They were hot to the touch. Hot to the touch. The authorities there, I understand, were called to the parking lot late Saturday or early Sunday and found 8 people dead inside the truck. And then a 9th victim dead at the hospital, and another one just died here. This is Liz Johnson, spokeswoman for the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. She was the one that actually was talking about how the victims were hot to the touch. I mean, that's unbelievable. That's hot. So basically what she concluded is these people were in the trailer without any signs of any type of water. The fire chief, Charles Hood, said in San Antonio. Authorities would not say whether the trailer was locked when they arrived, but they said it had no working air conditioning. And this is just the latest, folks, of smuggling by truck operation to end in tragedy and in one of the worst cases on record in the U.S. 19 immigrants locked inside a stifling rig. Died in Victoria, Texas in 2003. So basically, the initial reviews with the survivors of the San Antonio tragedy, more than 100 people may have been packed into the back of the 18-wheeler at one point in this journey. This is ICE acting director Thomas Horman is saying that officials said 39 people were inside when rescuers arrived, and the rest were believed to have escaped or hitched rides to their next destination. And then 4 of the survivors appeared to be between 10 and 17 years old. 10 and 17 years old. Said investigators gave no detail of where the rig began its journey or where it was headed. Folks, tragedy, and it's going to continue doing this. God knows how many rigs come in and out without any inspection, packed in there, and people willing to get into these trucks without air conditioning, willing to risk everything to get into the United States because of the promise that have made with a lot. And I have to say, with Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick in Texas, I'm concurring with him. I'm blaming the truck deaths on sanctuary cities that enable human smugglers. I'm right there with you, brother. This has got to stop. There's got to be a bill. There's got to be a measure that can put a stand to this. And it's got to be tough to be Jeff Sessions. Monday in federal court, the U.S. Attorney General wouldn't say whether Bradley was the alleged driver of the truck who was arrested. It wasn't immediately known whether Bradley had an attorney who could speak on his behalf. Federal prosecution said, the prosecutors that said James Matthew Bradley Jr., 60, of Clearwater, Florida, was taken into custody and would be charged on Monday in federal court. But again, the U.S. Attorney's Office wouldn't say whether Bradley was the alleged driver of the truck, but he has been taken into custody, and this is breaking news. Clearwater, by the way, right up the road from us. We do the For the People broadcast in Tampa, Florida, so this is a Clearwater and very possibly a driver, and I would suspect I can't imagine it being like a pilot. We got two truck drivers. It doesn't matter. You're in the truck. They have this guy. So this looks, and we don't know if he's an owner-operator. It would assume that because there's no writing on the rig. So it's believed that they have the guy in custody right now, James Matthew Bradley Jr., 60 of Clearwater, Florida. And the U.S. Homeland Security Department stepped in to take the lead in this investigation from San Antonio. And the truck had an Iowa license plate and was registered to Pile Transportation Incorporated. Okay, so there we're learning more about the truck. And this is of Shaler, Iowa. A company official did not immediately respond to a phone message seeking comment. So we know where the rig came from. So their Fed stepped in. There's definitely going to be a serious investigation, which is great, and it needs to happen. And obviously, the company, the driver, what they know, the money trail, who got paid, is the whole company involved? Is it just the driver that makes these runs, when he makes these runs? How long this has been going on? Is there more company trucks than just the one that has this happen to? I mean, what's the deal? I'm sure there's going to be a lot more information that's going to come out at this point, but these are tragedies, folks. Incredibly dangerous. But there's money involved here. People spend as much money as you could imagine in pesos or American dollars, but how many people can you get in the back of a tractor trailer? Into these pallets. Can you imagine being stuffed into a pallet and then having no AC on top of that? It's hot enough, right, with no air circulating in there? I mean, that's got to be hell on earth. And notice that some of the youngest people, 10 to 17, were some of the survivors, just young enough, strong enough, their bodies, could withstand that, opposed to an older adult to dehydrate. But this is just a shocking story, and I just think that it needs attention. It needs more attention. It needs to go out there, and it needs to be, if you politicalize, make it politics. It's a political issue. Obviously, Donald Trump ran on the platform of cracking down on illegal immigration. This would be a case in point for the Trump administration to be able to seize the moment. And this would be a seizing moment for Donald Trump to speak out at this time. I'm surprised he hasn't done it already. To me, it would be a necessary thing because this should solidify why building the wall actually is paramount. It's so important. It's pivotal. He ran on this platform. Where are you? ICE is certainly trying to do their job and cranking down on this. The vice president was in Philadelphia last week and over the weekend talking up about this. And, of course, there's going to be this crackdown, and I've been really looking into what's going on here. Director Thomas Holman told the Washington Examiner that he thinks sanctuary cities like New York and San Francisco are ludicrous and plans to direct extra agents to those areas. The acting ICE director is vowing to use his new resources to target undocumented immigrants in sanctuary cities, a move likely to hit resistance from mayors and local law enforcement who previously have refused to cooperate with federal authorities. Not a surprise. And even this story is not going to talk to them. It's not going to speak to their hearts. They don't see the wrong. They don't see the wrong in what they are doing. And because of the mere fact, when it really comes down to push comes to shove, the reason that they're supportive of all of this, because they're a bleeding heart liberal, it's not because of just the goodness of their hearts they're doing this, folks. They're doing this because they're getting paid votes. They know it's a guaranteed vote, and so it's an illegal vote. They'll still accept him. Who cares? But there's a lot of money that's going to be spent. For example, in fiscal 2017, ICE requested $6.6 million to hire 100